I have approached this subject as one would approach a murder investigation. Indeed, the murder investigation that should have been conducted in Dallas in 1963 and never was. And I have come to the conclusion, based on an enormous amount of research by those who have gone before me, that Lyndon Johnson was the linchpin of a plot that involved numerous others, and there is, I think, substantial research now. Thousands of books have been written making a very strong case for the involvement of the Central Intelligence Agency, for the involvement of organized crime, for the involvement of Big Texas Oil. And indeed, I make the case that Lyndon Baines Johnson had a unique relationship with each one of them. Now, let's talk about motive. First of all, it's important to remember that in 1960, Lyndon Baines Johnson blackmailed his way onto the Kennedy ticket. In fact, we know that President John F. Kennedy, or in that point, candidate John F. Kennedy, Senator John F. Kennedy, had selected Senator Stuart Symington of Missouri to be his running mate. He had asked Symington. Symington had accepted and was writing his acceptance speech. And that night, Lyndon Baines Johnson and House Speaker Sam Rayburn showed up in Jack Kennedy's hotel room in Los Angeles late at night, and they had with them a file, a dossier on John Kennedy's sex life. This had been supplied to them by J. Edgar Hoover. Hoover was a next-door neighbor of Lyndon Johnson's. He was a close political ally of Lyndon Johnson. Between 1951 and 1961, the FBI budget had tripled due to the good actions of Senate Majority Leader Lyndon Johnson. When Lyndon Johnson stole his election in 1948 by a totally disputed and fraudulent 86 votes, J. Edgar Hoover flew down for the victory party at the Driscoll Hotel in Austin. So they were very close, and of course Hoover had his own motive. He knew he was facing mandatory retirement. He knew the Kennedys would put him out to pasture in 1964. So his motive was clear. In any event, Johnson's message for Kennedy was, you need me, you need Texas, and if you won't put me on the ticket, I'll just take this dossier and I'll give it to Dick Nixon. Now remember, Nixon and Kennedy were locked in a skin-tight race for president.